In this video, I'm gonna do a clutch repair and help somebody with a 1994 bagger replace an ignition switch. But that's not all that's gonna happen. At the end of the video, I'm gonna take off across the country with somebody else's wife. See, you might want to stay tuned for that. But because I'm sure there's folks out there who don't really know how a clutch works, I decided to start this video with the end of the video and show y'all how a clutch works so you'll see what we're working on. So with that, let's get started. Okay, so this inside piece hooks to the shaft, which goes to the wheel ultimately through the transmission. Okay, so this hooks to the wheel. This outside piece hooks to the motor. I don't have the compensator on there yet, but once I do, the motor turns this chain, which does the outside. So it spins. So the way they do them is, I got a couple of plates in there already. You see the way this plate has teeth on the inside, right? It goes in. And then this one has teeth on the outside. It goes in. And that hooks to, every other one hooks to the motor, and every other one hooks to the wheel. Then, ultimately, it gets this piece, which goes on top. Oh, I got it going the wrong way. Goes on top. Okay? And that pushes them all together with this spring. This is actually a spring. They call it a diaphragm spring. It's like a plate that pushes down and holds all of them together. So then there's a piece that comes right through the middle of the main shaft here, part of the adjustment. And when you, there's more, but when you push the clutch, it pushes this out, which pushes this outer plate out, and all those plates inside come loose from each other, and you have the clutch pulled in. Then when you let the clutch pull out, it pushes, this spring pushes everything back together. So let me show you what happens here. The plates, the spring gets pushed off the plates, and then they all start to spin freely of each other. That's when you have the clutch in. When you let it out, the spring pushes them all together. They rub on each other until they finally get pressed so hard they stop and they all move as one. This is why if you run your clutch a lot, the plates get hot and they burn. You go through clutch plates. You know, like when you're at a stoplight on a hill or something, don't use the clutch, use the brake. So let me show you the movement. We'll see if we can get it. Okay, here's the greasy thing, because I've had my greasy mitts all over it. I'm going to pull the clutch. Let's see if we can see it moving. There's a shaft comes through the middle, all the way through the center of the main transmission main shaft, because it's hollow, and pushes this thing out when you push the clutch. See it moving? Just has to move it enough to loosen up on those plates. That's all it does. Okay? As far as I know, that's how all the motorcycle clutches work anymore. I've had to help people with Hondas a few times and stuff, and it's the same game. May look a little different, but it's the same game. So, look who's back on a lift. What we're looking at is primary stuff here, clutch problems, okay? I don't know if you can see it, but this thing is not supposed to move. See the chain, watch it. See? Okay. I had this before on my last bike when I got into high mileage, and it kept going through clutch baskets. Back then I could get them for free or almost nothing at swap meets and stuff though. And it took a while before I was at a guy's shop and he finally figured it out. And it was that the shaft coming out of the transmission moved up and down. What that means is the main shaft's worn there, I guess. At that time, what I did was I got another transmission, 60 bucks, and I just stuck the other transmission in it. I managed to pick one up for 60 bucks. Right now, I'm going to pull this apart and see if I can figure out what's causing these clutch hubs to go out. It rattles is what it does. It rattles like a bastard. It's making all kind of noise. And I'm going to pull it off because I happen to be at these people's house and I have these tools in this lift. I'm going to pull the clutch off and then take the tranny shaft and see if it moves. Okay guys, let's take a look at what I've found so far. And it's really not what I thought it was. So on this clutch thing, so here, let's take a look. This thing is not supposed to move. See if you can see it in there. You can hear it, right? So the whole thing is moving. That's supposed to be dead tight. So it looks like it's something to do with the splines here. So let's yank this off of here. Okay. Now, the splines on this, I cleaned them up and looked at them. I don't see any wear on them at all. This is that Baker stuff here. Or, yeah, Baker transmission. I don't see wear on them. Not at all. I can't see anything. I cleaned them up and looked at them. See, if they were worn, they'd be thinner on the end, I would think, on this end than up there. The other thing, on my last bike, what happened was the shaft wore. That was stock, and it was a lot of miles, and it moved up and down. This one don't move at all. Tolerance on that shaft is dead zero. You can't move at all. And what it did last time was it kept taking out my clutch hub bearing, my clutch basket. And that's what I thought it was doing. This time it doesn't look like it. This thing's rattling around and causing, and it's loud. And how long until those teeth inside of there break? So I had to order one of those, $130 fucking dollars. You can only get the Chinese ones because Harley don't make them anymore, but that's my choices. So I'm gonna get that, and we'll see if hopefully the splines on the shaft are good, which I think they are, they look good, and we'll see how the new one fits. Meanwhile, I'm helping with this bike, okay? Now this is a 95 Electra Glide. And what it's got is it looks like probably this switch is gone. These ones with the round key had a reputation for fucking going out. I remember when they came out. The flat key, like on mine, lasts forever. And you can feel the difference in them. They went to, I don't know what they did. Went to China or something when they made those. Replacing it's a bitch. Charlotte don't know how to do it exactly. I think we can get to it. So, in order to test it, because the bike won't run, this is what I had to do. Okay, let's take a look here. Okay, in the fairing, you have breakers. This is like my new bike. It has these plastic fucking things in here. Really, only 3 of these are important. I believe this goes to the cruise control. Yes, it's a carbureted bike with cruise control. They made them. But these are irrelevant. One of these doesn't matter. What happens is the power comes in, I determine, through this red wire. Okay? It goes into the key switch. Comes out of the key switch, one goes to each of these, basically, to make it simple. Okay? And one of them goes to the lights. That's it there. I wrote it on the side of them. Interestingly, the manual will not fucking tell you. This one here goes to the motor. And this one up here goes to the dashboard. This one here is irrelevant. So I tested the heat coming in, and the one going to the motor doesn't have any heat coming to it. So I took just a wire hook to the battery and stuck it in the hole to put heat to it, and the bike started. So it's probably the key switch on this thing. Probably the problem. The basics of what makes the bike run is simple. Power goes to the key switch. 3 wires come out. One goes to the dash, one goes to the motor, one goes to the lights. It's that simple. And they're all separate from each other. They're not hooked into a computer. This bike doesn't have a computer. This one don't have a computer on it either. Neither does the Mule. So That's why when you go to start it, you can't use an electronic brain. You have to use an organic one. You got to pull the choke and start it up. You got to do its thinking for it. But so we're going to take this fairing off. She ain't never done it, doesn't know how to do it, but I do. It's the same as mine. Pain in the ass. Inside of these old fairings, there's 4 bolts. See one here? See that one? There's one up there, and it's the same on the other side. That's the headache with the old fairings. The new ones are much easier to get off. Those 4 bolts on the inside are a pain in the ass. So you got to know about that if you go to take one of these off. After that, it's just the windshield and the passing lights, and the whole thing comes off. Whenever you take your handlebars loose from your bike, it's a good idea to hang them from the ceiling, because when you lay them down, they tend to get air in the lines of the front brake, and then you got to deal with all that when you put them back up. So whenever I take them off, Jody does this at his shop, a lot of guys do, we hang them from the ceiling so that you can avoid that whole problem. And as you're going to see, we've done that in this part of this video. I should have done this while I had it, while we were doing it, but I didn't. In order to get this piece to come off, there's a trick. There's some trick screws. Let's see if I can get them. Right there, where it says ignition, these 2 holes underneath the sticker have 2 Allen screws right there. See them? This is it. This is the key switch. See, it has 1 wire going into it that brings it power. This red one, I checked it. It's hot all the time. The other 3 goes to those 3 things. 1 to the motor, 1 to the dash, 1 to the lights, I do believe. 2 of them are not getting power coming out of them. Power's going in, but not coming out. Gonna be dinner.
I want to eat this normal, but the hot dog bun was 2 pieces.
Alright, now, clutches are actually 2 pieces, right? This goes in there. So let's take a look at this one. This is the old one. See if I can get a light on here. Okay, you see them teeth in there? See them moving? See how much the thing moves? I think that's my rattling issue. I think, because I can't find anything else wrong in here. So now let's try the new one. Okay. Now let's do this. Okay. You can't see the splines because I haven't taken that piece out of this new one, and I'm not gonna. But maybe you can see it hardly moves at all. And once the nut's on it, I imagine it won't. It moves way less than the other one. Charlotte's got a press here. You got to press those together, right? You might be able to beat them in there, but you better to press them. So you got to press right here. Alright, this is the one I just pressed together. This is an old one, the old one, and old one. I actually have a couple of them here. Okay, see, this piece spins in the middle. You'll see the significance of that. This whole thing is very simple. So I had to push them together. They have a bearing in the middle. See how this one has lots of balls in it? This is not a Harley bearing. Harley wanted like $135 for theirs, and see how few bearings it has? So I got a hold of a bearing place when I put this together last time, and they sold me this for $60. So this is it. Can't put it together. This is always a left-handed thread on these things. Don't tell me. It's still moving. Okay. So I showed these in another video. Compensators designed to give cushion. And I have to put my big nut on here. See the way I have a washer? I told you guys they made these things too long, and Harley's solution, it caused me a lot of trouble till I learned about it. Harley's solution was to put a 70 thousandths washer on it. Okay, now this one doesn't move. Now that I have the nuts tightened down, this one doesn't move at all. Not at all. And the old one did. Even with the nut tightened down, it moved quite a bit. This one is dead not moving. Anyway, I'm going to put this back together right now. And I don't have somebody to film it. I'm not making that video this time. You know, you guys, people wonder how I know so much about fixing these things. It's just because when I started back in the 80s, the late 80s, I started riding Harleys. Everybody that I knew fixed their own bikes. So when it broke, my friends would tell me how to do it or help me or whatever. We all did that kind of thing. And I messed a lot of stuff up. All in all, though, I'm tens of thousands or more ahead in money on the game. So every year I learn more, because you never know everything about these things. And so after years, I began to know a lot of different stuff. The other help is that I've been riding the same bike, the same engine and transmission since 1990, my Softail. And then after that, it's been baggers like this. Small changes when I go, like when I went, this is a 91, my last one was an 88. A few changes that I had to learn, but not a lot. So that's an advantage too. So that's just the way it is. And then somewhere along the way, everything changed, and everybody started just paying fortunes for their bikes and paying somebody else a fortune to work on them. But I tell you what, Charlotte over here, I'm helping her with this bike over here, this red one, right? She paid a shop $1,400 to do work and really didn't get shit for her money. So the bike's been sitting with a broken key switch. These later ones have a problem with that. And she hasn't known how to get it apart. It's been sitting for 2 months. I know how to do it. So now we're putting it together, and it's going to be, you know, if there's anything wrong, it'll be her fault, or I'm probably not going to put the whole thing back together because I may not be here that long. But from this point, she's seen how to do it, and she's a bit manly, right? And I think she'll be able to put it back together. So it's kind of an advantage being able to do your own stuff, really, because I'll tell you something, it doesn't matter what bike you got. If you ride them a lot, you're going to have to fix them. Joe Sparrow's Goldwing, he put over 500,000 miles on it, but boy, he fixed a lot of shit on it, man. Not as much as I have. He told me, he said that Harleys break more, when I agree. But the Jap bikes, he said, when they break, it's a lot harder to fix them. It calls for a 4-hour job to change the air filter on his Goldwing. It's an 1800cc Goldwing, right? So mine's like a 5-minute job. So that's what you get. And with that, I'm going to put this thing back together. Why would you get rid of the Road King?
Well, if I didn't have it, if I was just going to have to keep one and had to get rid of the other, you know, financial reasons, anything like that, yeah, my Road King would go back. I'd keep my Ultra Classic, or Penny's Ultra Classic.
What year's that Road King?
2002, twin cam.
Oh, 2?
Fuel injection. I'd rather have the 94 Evolution with the carburation. It's just so much smoother, quieter, runs cooler, and just less problems. Easier to work on.
I don't think that bike runs quite right. Something's not quite right with it.
No.
I don't know what it is, but it wants a tune-up or something.
Yeah.
But it's fuel injected, so I don't know how you tune that. Maybe
Seems like something's off.
maybe put some of that stuff in the gas and cleans the injector. You try that?
Yeah, I've run seafoam through it. I've run regular unleaded, I've run premium, I've run mid-grade.
Well, I like the way this one rides better. This one runs better than that one.
This thing's a drain.
That one runs okay, but this one runs better. This one's an Evo.
It's actually a joy to ride. It really is.
I agree. So is mine. The old Mule. Everybody's like, when are you
Yeah.
going to get the new one? I'm like, the Mule's a big pleasure to ride.
I like the
The
carburetion.
red one is. What are we going to talk about, Penny?
I don't know. What should we talk about, Scotty?
Well, we ought to tell them what's going on.
That would be a start. Be a good start.
We're heading for Panama City for the motorcycle rally. Well, I was going there anyway. And I stopped in at their house because you guys have got a garage with a lift and other motorcycles. And I had to do some work on my bike. Before I crossed into Mexico, I stopped here in Texas and tried to get my bike fixed. This time I had problems coming out of Mexico, so I stopped there and fixed it. And then I helped work on that red bike you guys got.
Right.
But
right.
it's a lot like my bike, so I helped with it. And so we get it all done. I'm going to Panama, and he says, why don't you take Penny, or no, it says to you, right?
Right.
Why don't you go with him? And I'm like, that's a headache. I got a mosquito. I'm like, that's a headache. But I was like, okay, I'll do it. You have to take a bus back or a plane or something.
I'll just hitchhike.
You'll just hitchhike.
Hitchhike.
So
Be a good adventure.
So by the next day, I don't know, did you decide right away you want to go?
Not really.
Took you a while to think about it?
Yeah, it did. Took me a while.
Did you?
Yeah.
What made you decide you want to go?
Something different I've never done before.
Never done this before.
Right. So
So that's fun for me because being on the road is like old hat to me. I get back out here, I'm like, same shit, different day. So that's fun for me. I've had a lot of people
Right.
come that have never done it, and it's fun for me. Are you nervous?
Yes, very nervous.
Very nervous, really?
I am.
But you're willing to sleep in the tent. I mean, you know what I do, so
Yeah.
you're willing to sleep in the tent, and we're just gonna see how it goes. I had a girl come with me I met in Mexico, and she was a lesbian. Never been with a man in her life. That's the whole story. But she was going south and taking buses, and I told her she'd go with me if she bought half the gas. And first night she had to sleep in my tent because there's mosquitoes.
Right.
She's all nervous.
Well, yeah, it is nervous.
She
sleeping
didn't
with
know
someone
me,
else.
right? And I just laughed because, I had a rule back then, be my friend or fuck me, just don't play me in between. And so then she realized that I was going to be cool.
That's good.
Yeah, we traveled for 4 days. I let her off in Oaxaca. Anyways, I'm going to pack this camp. We're going to get going. Got to make some time today.
Yep.